It's Whiskey Wednesday. All right, I was never much of a whiskey guy, except for in college when I'd drink a little like Hawkeye or some mid-shelf Jack and Coke when it was really, really, really cheap at the Dean's List in Ames, Iowa, which was basically a slaughterhouse, a meat market, a disaster of epic proportions. And I would go in there and I would drink whiskey and then I would time travel because that's what immature college students do. It wasn't until recently that I discovered that I can drink whiskey and not be an asshole because you can do things responsibly when you get older, and you can drink whiskey because it's delicious and not because you want to get ham sauce wasted. Today we have Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, which is kind of, I'm kind of spoiling myself here. Obviously this was not my initiation into whiskey. That came with George Dickel 12-year Tennessee sour mash whiskey. And this stuff, it's delicious, but it's not really delicious on its own. It's not really meant to be served neat. You can do it, but it's not by choice, right? So after easing my way back into whiskey with some Dickel and cream soda, I had heard a lot of really good things about the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. So I decided, I was actually, this is what's messed up, I was actually out on a run the other day, and my run takes me by a liquor store. And I'd been in there several times looking for the Double Oaked, and they had a spot on the shelf for it, but it was never in stock. And so I just popped in on my run, and there was one bottle. And so I went up to the front counter, asked them if they took Apple Pay, because I didn't have a wallet with me, right? I was just out for a run. They said, yes, they did. I went back, grabbed the bottle, came up to the counter, set it on the counter, and I said, am I going to need an ID? And the clerk goes, no. I mean, maybe it's because I'm bald. Maybe it's because I look grandfatherly at this point in my life, or maybe it's just because I've been in there a bunch of times and he knows me. But I was able to grab this and then walk home with it in a bag, now in running clothes. Now, when I got home, my wife said, did you run with whiskey? And I said, no, I did not. I was on my cool down walk at that point, so I stopped in and got some. Now, this is, first of all, I'm going to say it's delicious. 45.2% alcohol by volume, 90.4 proof. It drinks pretty smooth. I am very happy with this whiskey. We are not sponsored by Woodford Reserve. However, I would entertain all comers. So the nice thing about this, I mean, you can put it in a cocktail, but I believe, it's mostly intended to be served neat. And the thing that I've had it sitting here open for a minute, so it's really started to breathe. And there are definitely notes of caramel. You can smell that right away, which when I had read some reviews of it before, that is kind of what appealed to me about it, was that it had a caramel flavor to it. It's also got some vanilla, and it's a double oaked. So what that means is it's cured in one barrel, and then they put it in a second charred barrel and then let it cure there as well. And so it brings out some of that oaky smokiness to it. And you can get a little bit of that just by wafting around there a little bit. I don't personally taste, oh, it's so good. I don't taste any oakiness or smokiness to it. But there is a little bit, you can kind of grab almost not a grain, which would be the rye and the corn, but there's something with some substance to it. There isn't much burn. There's a little bit of mouth burn towards the end. So good. So delicious. But so far, when it comes to sipping whiskeys, I'm very, very happy with this. It's going to run you about $65 a bottle US, which Could be a little spendy if you're used to spending 25 to 30 bucks a bottle on your lower tier whiskeys and ryes and bourbons, but it's worth it. And what I've found is it kicks you in the teeth a little bit. It sneaks up on you. It doesn't drink like it's harsh, but after about 3 to 4 fingers of this stuff, I'm warm. My ears are warm, and I'm a happy fella. So it's really not meant to be. You don't want to get whiskey drunk on this stuff. It's really meant to be more of a. I would consider it a dessert flavor. Because it's got that caramel in it. It's got some vanilla in it. And it's meant to be a treat. It's not meant to be a, hey, you have a drinking problem. Go get some of this stuff, right? It's really meant to be enjoyed for the flavor. I'm really excited about getting into whiskey because it really, I feel like it opens up the possibilities palate-wise for a guy like me to not just be strictly beer anymore. What I found too is just the taste of a pipe with the whiskey. Now, obviously, I'm in the house right now. I'm not allowed to smoke, so we'll have to wait until my wife goes out of town and smoke in the studio. Make it have that nice pipe smell, but a little bit of even just the taste off the pipe, empty pipe, follow it with a little whiskey. Oh, those two things go together marvelously. And one of these days I'm going to get away with it down here, smoking a little pipe, sitting in the office doing a little work. But today is not that day because I value my life. But every once in a while, I'm the only person home. And I can think of nothing more relaxing than a pipe, a little Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Strongly recommend it.